Did you know that Jamaica was one of the main sources of herbal remedies in the world? What if you could get the best herbs, the best tonics from Jamaica? Some of your best alternative healing on planet Earth will be delivered at your doorstep in the Jamaica Good Life Health Box. Visit us at www.jamaicagoodlife.com. Sign the waiting list. It's on its way, we're making sure it's perfect. We know you've been waiting for a very long time. Please be patient. It's on its way. For all those who have already signed the waiting list, you will be first in line. Visit www.jamaicagoodlife.com. Sign the waiting list. You could also call 929-314-0106. That's 929-314-0106. Thanks so much.
Hi, this is Randy Pattinger of Jamaica Good Life. I'm here with
Yaya L from Fancy Fruits Lifestyle and Ulster.
It is our great pleasure to bring to you Jamaica Good Life and Fancy Fruit Health Box. For the past 20 years I've been traveling from Africa to Jamaica, interviewing herbalists, trying to find the best herbalists in the world. I happened to find one of the best herbalists in Jamaica. So we decided to partner up to bring to you, the world, a great deal of products, herbs, and healing elements for your lifestyle. Yaya L has been eating raw foods for the past 10 years. Yaya, how are you doing today?
Yes, Randy, I'm doing wonderful, wonderful. I give thanks for life, health, and strength. The opportunity to be here at this very moment. It's a beautiful day.
So we have a great deal amount of products. Slippery Elm. Go through some of the products that's going to be available in the health box.
Well, I guess it's only fitting to start with the Slippery Elm, otherwise known as the Energy Sip. As you can see, I'm actually sipping some at this moment. And this is our baby. And when I say this is our baby, this juice, our product here, it's Elal. And when I say Elal, it builds back your bone, the sinews, the tissues, the cartilage. It also gives you energy. It soothes your stomach lining. So if you're suffering from ulcer, acid reflux, if you're suffering from constipation, this is what you need to get your body up and going. It also helps to build sperm counts for the male. If you hurt your back, it builds back that area, because of the lubrication property that you find within the Slippery Elm, the Energy Sip. So this product is also a baby food. So it's not only adults, even the baby can feed on this product. And it's phenomenal. So right now, as you know, I'm going through a very serious time in my life. A couple of weeks, I had an incident where I actually hurt myself, severely. A lot of bones have been broken up, shattered. I give thanks that it was able to put back as much as possible, but now I have to rely on my food, my medicine, to actually to actually walk. So it's a great opportunity to use myself as that replica, that example, to show you that this holistic lifestyle that I've chosen to walk this path is actually significant, not just to me, but to the entire world. And it's a pleasure to be an example, to carry this message, to be this message.
Now, Jamaica Good Life, our agenda unity is to work with different people with the same agenda. So here's Yaya with the Slippery Elm, one of the top products of the health box. It's a little slimy, but definitely necessary for the bones and to keep you strong. You want to. So before we get into the different herbs and the different liquids, you consider them liquids,
Yes, tonics.
tonics. Tell us about yourself. Where were you born? You know, your family. Why did you get into this lifestyle?
Well, of course, I was born here on the rock, you know, Jamaica. Actually, I was born in Jubilee Hospital, and I spent my early part of my childhood in St. Catherine, Jamaica. Of course, that's in the country, you know. So the country is where actually I discover myself, you know. As a child growing up, I love the outdoor. You know, it's raining, you catch me in the rain, stamping in the dirty water, making boats, you know, to race. You know, I love making my toys, you know, just love looking, hunting our meals for the day, you know, the fruits, look for the berries, you know, climb the jelly trees or the coconuts. You know, that's the lifestyle I lived as a youth. And we're talking about starting as early as probably 5, you know, riding bicycles up and down the hills, you know, making our skates with wood and bearings, you know, running in the orange walks, picking orange, rangers chasing us. You know, this is fun coming from school, walking miles to school. You know, I went to a school in a place they call Lucky Valley, all age. You know, probably the trek to that school is probably about 3, 4, I would say about 5 miles to 5 miles back. You know, but the fun thing is that, you know, the journey was fun for us because there's so much things to do. And I could remember the summer holidays was like the best thing because now I have a herbalist grand uncle, Uncle Freddie, that lives in the hills. And going there, I look forward because he's always reading. You know, he has the best roots. I can just remember it as a young youth. I was probably around 7 years by this time, and I can remember he just giving me probably, you know, just a little, probably about this much, just to taste. But when I taste it, when I taste the roots, it's like I just want more. You know, it brings me to a place where I was like, wow, this is beautiful. You know, and just to see him, you know, raising five, five, 5 youth by himself, you know, as a single parent, that again in itself was an inspiration to me. You know, he's a male, he's raising 4 boys, 1 female, you know, me on the holidays, summer holidays going there, and he just make it look so easy and simple. You know, he always just boiling roots, you know, boiling herbs. So that right there, he planted a seed unknowingly, and I didn't know that until I'm in my adulthood, really, when I think about it. But that was the beginning for me, Uncle Freddie, the roots man, the herbalist. So any which way, probably around 11, I think I moved to the States. You know, totally forget about all this until I'm in my 20s. Again, that's when it really hits me. Especially when you had the mad cow disease, I remember this was what, in the 90s. You know, eating meat, all that oxtail, I grew up on that. Love my oxtail, love my curry goat, oxtail. As a matter of fact, speaking of oxtail, I used to probably eat that twice a day. When the mad cow disease hit, me and my mom, Mama Elaine, you know, bless your soul, R.I.P. Much love. Your energy do lives on. But we made a pact that we're gonna cut out red meat out of our lifestyle. And that's when it started. And actually that's when unknowingly that's when my higher awareness take form. Because when we made that pact that day to cut out red meat, it lead me to a path where I'm actually looking for another life, another way of eating. So after that path, me personally, after a few years, probably about another 2-3 years, I decided to cut out chicken. I cut out chicken after about 3 years. Passed through the red meat, the cow, the goat. Now I said, chicken, it's you next. I'm gonna cut you out. And I was like, it came so easily too. It wasn't a struggle. It wasn't a longing. I could drive past KFC and just know it's KFC.
What about the chicken and the chicken coke? Were they upset at you?
Well,
You said chicken, you're next.
Well, definitely they had one. Well, I don't think they're upset. I think they're glad because they have one less prayer. Because when you check it out, hey, I think I saved a couple of chickens, man. I could honestly say that.
So you've saved many lives in your lifetime.
I saved many cows, many goats.
Starting with animals.
And the funny thing, as a little youth, we used to kill lizard and bury, actually have funerals for them. But, that was just innocently.
Wow. So you grew up in the country, St. Catherine. And you start your process of cutting out chicken. Was that because of Rastafari?
No, actually, no, remember now. At age 11, I moved to the States. Moved to New York. And this was in the 80s. But then in the 90s, with the mad cow disease, of course, by this time I'm into the roots and culture, dancer, music, because, we have a sound system. We love that. The dancing and everything. But in the 90s, after the mad cow disease, as I said, I'm aware of the culture and everything, but never really take on to it, definitely. I'm just the pretty fly boy. So, as I said, the mad cow disease is really what started it, what initiated me into this path when me and my mother consciously made that pact to just cut out oxtail, cut out the beef, cut out the cow skin juice. Yeah. As I said, that was, I hear a lot of people saying, cutting off meat is hard. I used to eat oxtail at least twice daily, man. I love it so much. The Jamaican restaurant, they cook it, and I buy it from them. I go home, my mom knows this is what I love. She cook it.
Yeah.
And when we decided to do this, this was, looking back, it was something really, really firm and strong, a lot of willpower, so that's what actually initiated me on this path unknowingly, because as I said, we just decided that, what, there's just too much things going on with this meat issue.
I see.
So we just say, away with it.
We. Your mother and you.
And me. Yeah, it was me and my mother who made this pact.
Okay.
Wow. And I say rest
How's
in
your
peace.
mom now?
And I say rest in peace, Mama Elaine.
So basically, your mom is part of the foundation of your life.
As I said,
health life.
She's a great part of it, because again, when she passed away in 2010 from a kidney polycystic disorder, which also is genetic, runs through the family bloodline on her part. Again, this is what actually just propel me.
Fuel you.
Yes, it's fuel me to say no. I have some choices to make. So now remember, there's no meat, there's no chicken, there was no fish up until this point. During her sickness, she went to see a health physician, and here in Jamaica. She told, she found him. I helped her to, you know, finance it. She came back to the States, and she came back with all type of instructions. And I said, Mom, I have to help you on this journey now. I see that it's serious. So I decided to I go visit the health food stores and I start preparing her meals, the seaweed. I remember doing it, getting her rice milk, the black, also the black rice. All these was just new to me. Bamboo rice, black rice, all these stuff, the bulgur, all these stuff I'm just learning. Because my mom take care of me basically up until I'm 20. She cooks for me, That's the relationship even when I was living with my woman. My mom still cook for me, my woman at the time, she, my first set of sons, she didn't like that because it's just mama cooking. But so now the table turned. I had to, prepare things for her because, I want to make sure she's having these wholesome.
This was near 11?
No, this was back around 2000.
No, your age.
No, I was a adult by this.
So you were 20?
No, at this point I'm around 28, 29.
So high school and everything.
High school, past high school and everything.
Blending.
This time I took on to the Rastafari culture.
Bring that in.
Yeah, this time totally Rastafari.
And tell us about the influence. What brought you to that?
Well, as I say again, the music and a lot of friends that actually one of my best brethren is like a brother to me.
New York, Brooklyn?
New York, Mark Richards, Prince Emmanuel nephew, a whole lot of, I see this brethren here, we work together, man. I mean, we spend a lot of time together because we work together, every day. And he used to have his locks and everything. Speaking of, Uncle Manny, at this point I didn't know it was Prince Emmanuel, but he constantly bringing up this brethren, saying this brethren just get up from St. Elizabeth and gone up in the hill, his uncle. And, we have so much stories. But him himself, lacks and, just living a certain lifestyle. So I guess unknowingly again, it was coming, I was absorbing a lot of it. Outside of that, I have another brethren, we call Guzum. And this is from teenager. This brethren was lax man, my age group. We used to make fun of him, being that, he's doing Rastafari, saying, the Selassie and all that stuff. And, we just used to joke around. And he was serious about it, serious about the lifestyle, Rasta culture. And I just find myself just fading. Years after now, I'm talking about probably 5, 6, 7 years after. This blem, this intertwining of the people around me, and then I just find myself, first I used to braid my hair, and then I found myself tired after stretching and then I just let it go. So actually my braid turned lax because I didn't take it back out. So my braid just started lack up. And I just found myself just getting more into myself, just a lot of self-awareness, a lot of self-awareness, of me actually finding self. Because the funny thing is, I didn't go to any single person or any individual and like, yo, I want to be Rasta. What is Rasta? You know, I picked up remnants coming from young, like, yo, the meat. I know Rasta don't eat meat. I know Rasta, say, yeah, Selassie. I remember my first vision of His Majesty saluting me in the vision, and I was like, the next day I'm waking up and I'm like, yo, what that? What that? I'm supposed to be saluting His Majesty, but I just say, all right, I guess He welcoming me to life, the path.
Mm-hmm. So books, what are some of the books you started to read?
Oh man, well, that's another thing. There's so much books that came my way. One of the first book I actually ran into was the biography of Marcus Garvey. That's like one of the first book that introduced me to Pan Africanists and just liberating oneself. Then I actually read his Imperial Majesty biography. I actually read that after. That was a great book, to actually hear his story and of even with the war with Italy and a lot of his speeches and just wise, so much wisdom, so much quotes, from him. It really inspired me a whole lot. And then as far as the Rastafari, you know, I started to actually asking questions more now. I actually start asking questions, and the funny thing is, most of the question I ask is myself. I ask myself questions, and the more I ask myself questions, the more books comes to me. By this I'm reading probably about hundreds of books, man, hundreds of books. At night, I would find myself up, just inspired to just write. There was just so much things coming through me. I would be sleeping and I would just get up and just start writing. Just start writing. With my mother's situation again, that even forced me to study like herbs more. So books about herbs was coming to me, all that. Dreaming. I used to dream a lot. Vision. I used to get a lot of vision. About different herbs. And my mom again, she pays a lot of attention to vision and dreams. She has many books and dreams. So a lot of books I also get from her. You know, dream. How to decipher dreams. Because I remember at my younger, when I was younger before I leave Jamaica, there's this old lady we call Auntie. We used to go by Auntie like in the evening, and Auntie, she was one of the older folks that can decipher dreams. I used to, sit and hear they talk, and she break down the dreams and everything. So all that stuff I was absorbing unknowingly, and as I say, I was young. I couldn't be out playing with the rest of youths, them cricket, football, what we call soccer. Yeah, but I was there listening. So now I'm here with mom in the States, and any dream I get, I call mom and just she'll decipher it and let me know. And she also encouraged me to get a dream book or to read dreams and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So her sickness now, after now take on Rastafari, as a identity, as a culture, and took it on fully now. Saying, Haile Selassie. I wanted to know even more about Haile Selassie, so that asked a lot of questions, but that's further. My mom now, she's, of course, now she is getting, by looking at her, I can see that she's actually getting sicker. So I was like, okay, She told me about the herbalist in Jamaica, and I was like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? I helped her to finance the trip and all the things. She went there, came back with all this stuff she needed to get, and went to the, probably about it 2 times a week. I was going to the health food store, picking up all these things that I never had a clue about, you know, as a, all I know about is rice and peas and some stew, some veggie chunks and lentil stew. So now I'm learning about seaweed. I'm learning about um, bulgur. I remember bulgur from school days, but I'm learning about quinoa. I'm learning about black rice, as I say, bamboo rice. I'm learning about spelt. I'm learning about barley. I'm learning about, now we talk about the herbs, them, with the vervain. I'm learning about dandelion and nickel. That was another thing. And knowingly, I used to love drinking dandelion because growing up, they always say children not supposed to drink coffee. So when I learned about dandelion, like in my 20s, it's like I find myself just sticking on to it. Anyone coming from Jamaica say, bring me up some dandelion powder. So I used to just sip that regularly. And this is even before I know that it was good for the same issue my mom was, diagnosed with. So all these things just came my way, no meat, then no fish, because a lot of Rasta they're actually vegetarian, so they eat fish. Me, I took it another level where I say, straight vegan, cook, no fish, nothing with no eye, nothing with no teeth. So it's a lot of stew, a lot of vegetables, love my fruits, all this. It's like I see it as a challenge to actually raise myself up. That's what it is. Because I just love raising myself up. I always look back and see where I'm making, if there was any improvement in my life. I mean, financially, spiritually, that's just me. I always like to just look and say, this year, this accomplishment. So I'm doing all that. So I keep raising it. Keep raising it. My mom, I noticed that sometimes when I'm not there, she might cheat and eat a few little stuff. I might, get on her. So I was like, oh man, I have to be like a father figure to you. You're like a child. So I constantly try to be there and a lot, and make sure she eat what she's supposed to eat. And when she passed, you know, because as I said, the situation actually got serious. She wanted, I was willing to give her a kidney also, based on, the relationship, so after that, now I see, the situation getting worse, where she don't want to be on the dialysis machine anymore, because she called that the death machine. And she, I remember at one point I was in Jamaica at this time. I came to Jamaica here, with my children and everything. We chilling, and as I wanted them that born in the States to get a life here, to know what this is, because this is what molded me, formed me. This is what we know the country life is, a good foundation. So I found out, I get a call that, she went to the hospital. She's actually in a coma because she wasn't going to her dialysis appointment. So her blood got extremely toxic. And I think that situation right there actually put her in a different state, where beyond, beyond repairable, because she never wanted a kidney. She always says she don't want any one kidney. So, she is a stern woman. Same thing, she was like, she don't want anyone come crying over her when she passed. So, she rather, to be burned and dash. So that's another request she had made with, to, my my sister, my siblings, they didn't like that when I said, this is what she wanted, but I knew because that's the relationship me and her had. So after that, it really pushed me again to just because what happened is I felt like I could have done more. And that's what inspired me and motivated me to start actually look to do more for myself and to others because I wanted to just help. I wanted to contribute to people, to humanity, because there's a lot of time we're in a situation where only if we had that help. So I wanted to be that person. I wanted to contribute more. I always felt that I can contribute more to humanity. So I was like, okay, I'm living this lifestyle already. I'm already partial herbalist, By this time, Jabal was, he's already in my life. A lot of the juices I was already getting from him, the tonics I was already taking. So, we started to like build a more personal relationship, a more intimate relationship. I started visiting him more, because as I said, I wanted to do more. I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to contribute something significant to humanity. So I said, I'm gonna try to change. If I'm gonna change humanity, I think I'm gonna do it from their stomach, their belly, because I see by now where food is our biggest weakness. So I said, okay, I'm gonna do it from this end. So that is where fancy fruit came into being, because we are, I'm already eating raw now by this time, because I think in about 2010, 2011, that's actually when I ran into this book called Man's Higher Consciousness. And I'm reading this book, and this book is talking about man used to be breatharian, man didn't used to eat food, man just used to feed from the sun, futon. And I was like, what? Then you have the fruitarian, and it's showing you the different level of man. And I was like, oh, fruitarian, I'm already eating a lot of fruit. And I was like, cooking food, you don't need, the sun already cooked the food, you don't need to cook the food anymore, you're killing it. And I was like, yes, wow. I was like, I'm vibing this, I'm like, wow. And then then I start to really laying down and meditate. As I say, it's like when I lay down to meditate, it's like things just, I tap into a part of myself that is actually already lived this life. Because this transition was just so easy for me. It was no challenge. And I was like, you know what? This is making sense. When you cook the food, you really kill the food. There's no nutrients from the food. So I was like, okay, I don't need to eat cooked food. I'm gonna try this. And I started to be like, okay, I don't want to eat cooked food. So I'm start, because I love to prepare in which way. I love to serve. I find myself, I find gratitude, and I find a lot of self, just feeling good to serve. I already know that part of me. I love to serve. Because when I used to cook food, the ITAL food, people used to just love it. Where at one point I was going to open a ITAL restaurant, but that didn't happen. We came so close, even got the place, and then we returned it. But I guess that wasn't for me. So I'm here preparing these meals for me. The fruits, I used to just make the most beautiful fruit salad with the spice, with the nuts, your little oats on it, and squeeze your little lime or your lemon on it. And it was so gratifying. I mean, I let my friends try it, and it was like, wow, this is wow. So I see they take interest in it, and then I was like, okay, cool. Then I moved on to the vegetable, preparing the raw lettuce salad with my vinegar, my lime, I use a little molasses sometimes to make a little seasoning, with my pimento. And I'm doing all these natural things, and I say, well, I'm just being fulfilled, with this newfound lifestyle, raw food. And as I say, nobody told me, what to do. I start hearing about other brethren that already, taking on this, walking this journey. I was like, cool, sun cook. And, I met another brethren, already in that path in Jamaica too. And he was like, he had a couple of recipes, and he showed me a couple of recipes, and he was like, yo, with these recipes, I'm just gonna give you about 3 recipes, but from these 3 recipes, it's gonna inspire you to just make so many recipes, and trust me, from that, we opened Fancy Fruits in 2014. I think it was April, and from those doors, flew open, they never closed, and the journey has been just phenomenal because Javali inspired me to create my own product line, and the more people come to me, is like the more I'm inspired. I'm reading, I'm asking questions, I'm trying to learn the herbs. At one point when I started, I was like, wow, there's so much things to learn when it comes down to herb. And a brethren told me, he was like, yo, just take it slowly. It's gonna come to you easy. After a while, it's just gonna be like second nature. And I could tell today, it's like second nature. A lot of my assistants, I tell them, I say, listen, every herb here, every tonic here, you can learn it. Don't look at it as whoa, it's a lot. Just take it one step at a time. And that's what I've been doing. I've been studying it for years, studying nature, reading books, conversating with the elders, and my clients, they inspired me to manufacture a lot of products.
Great. So that was a good story. We have a great understanding of who you are, the impact your mother played on your life, and your journey to becoming healthy. Started from the mad cow.
Yes, the mad cow. The mad cow. Can you believe that, man?
So this is great. So
Did you know that Jamaica was one of the main sources of herbal remedies in the world? What if you could get the best herbs, the best tonics from Jamaica? Some of your best alternative healing on planet Earth will be delivered at your doorstep in the Jamaica Good Life Health Box. Visit us at www.jamaicagoodlife.com. Sign the waiting list. It's on its way, we're making sure it's perfect. We know you've been waiting for a very long time. Please be patient. It's on its way. For all those who have already signed the waiting list, you will be first in line. Visit www.jamaicagoodlife.com. Sign the waiting list. You could also call 929-314-0106. That's 929-314-0106. Thanks so much.